Sligo Rovers into second. Now Sligo Rovers are trying to break into the top three. Just one defeat in 8 games had seen them steadily rise up the table under the guidance of manager Paul Cook. Bray Wanderers headed west, looking to bounce back from an injury-time defeat to leaders Drogheda last Monday.
Bray made a nightmare start at the showgrounds. The back pass was scuffed by Steve Williams, allowing Matthew Judge to profit, and Sligo were ahead with just 2 minutes gone. Bray were trying to avoid a third defeat in a row, and Gary McCabe was doing his best to get them back on level terms. On the half hour, the game exploded into life when Daniel Ventre and Mark Duggan collided. A scuffle ensued. Referee Hugh Warriski pulled Ventre to the side and issued red. Duggan didn't escape punishment either, and he received his marching orders. The Bray bench weren't happy, and their protests also drew the wrath of the referee. After that, chances were few and far between in the closing stages of the first half. Sligo started the second as they ended the first, edging it in terms of chances created. The game turned in the home side's favour when Conor O'Grady was put through on goal and then pulled back by Bray's centre-back Clive Delaney, the referee awarding a penalty. It got worse for Bray, reduced to 9 men, Delaney walking this time. Kudosevic stepped up and converted past Williams, despite the keeper getting his left hand to the ball. Bray didn't lie down, McCabe testing Richard Brush. Sligo tried to put the game beyond reach, Williams equal to this attempt. Kudosevic, looking for his second, came close. Next it was captain Adam Hughes, who was even closer. Sligo finally got a third goal in the dying moments. A neat move finished off by Stephen Manson. A 6th home win of the season put Sligo 4th, 4 points behind St Pat's and Shamrock Rovers.
You know, if you start getting involved with the officials at the minute, you get sent off and you're in trouble, you're fined. You know, it's like there's a one-way thing where they can tell you what to do, but you're not allowed to speak to them. Do you know, and it's a little bit disappointing, really, because it's a lot of stake in games. You know, people's jobs are on the line sometimes, and you know, it's hard when you're on the wrong end of a bad result. So at the minute, it's going our way. You know, results are going our way, little bits of luck are going our way. You know, and long may it continue.
Our player nearly gets decapitated in a tackle, and he sends our player off for a 2-foot tackle. Baffled is the word, really is. But I mean, the positives I'll take out of the game is I came down to I had 9 players for the last 20-25 minutes of the match, and the effort and the commitment they put in was absolutely first class.
Up to 4th in the Premier Division, and they enjoyed a 2-1 victory over Waterford when the pair met in the league last month.
Richard Brush launches it downfield. A Waterford head gets there and they pick up the breaking ball and go on the attack down the left flank through Carl Birmingham. Birmingham now needs some support and he finds it. Shot fired in, not too far away at all. Certainly had the keeper worried. Richard Brush was scrambling to get across his goal. Not too sure if he would have got there had it been on target. It was Cathal Lorden, and the man on loan from Cork City comes within a whisker of giving Waterford the lead. Well, Waterford certainly have made far the better start here at the RSC. They win a free kick here for a foul on Darrell Kavanagh. Ball whipped into the box. Not the most decisive of headed clearances. Breaks here to Birmingham. He puts it in the back of the net, but the flag's up. The flag's up for offside. But Alan Kelly's giving this goal. The referee has overruled his assistant referee, Ken Hennessy. Maybe we can see here why. Well, it certainly comes off a Sligo Rovers head. Came off the head of Jamie McKenzie, and that's the correct decision from Kelly, and well spotted by him. McKenzie's header. Birmingham takes advantage at the back post. Sligo really have struggled to get a foothold in this game so far. Maybe they can do so now. Matthew Judge gets involved, some space for Brian Cash here, gets the cross in, it's a dangerous one, and the tie is all square, and it's Adam Hughes. Well, he certainly has been in a rich vein of scoring form of late. Cash whipped in the cross. Hughes, well, his initial effort was blocked by Robbie Hederman, but at the second time of asking, the captain, with a vital goal, gets his side level. Jamie McKenzie bringing it out. Well, he's closed down very quickly here by Vinnie Sullivan. There's a man at the back post coming in. Just can't get there. Vinnie Sullivan whipped in the cross. Birmingham just couldn't make the contact. Darragh Kavanagh now to take on Seamus Coleman. Gets a cross in. Half cleared, falls to McCarthy. Well held by Brush. Little flick through. Adam Hughes is in behind here. Well, there's appeals from Kadosovic for a penalty. No appeals from the captain himself. We might see it again. It was McCarthy's challenge. Didn't seem to get too much of the ball. Well, conditions continue to deteriorate here at the RSC. Waterford United with this free kick. Falls down here for Cathal Lordan. Well, Lordan on his left boot, well off target. Well, remember, just last month, Sligo Rovers came to the RSC, fell a goal behind, and went on to win the tie 2-1, thanks to 2 goals from Faz Kadosovic. They've got back level here tonight, but can they find a winner? Rafael Cretaro, that's a great ball from him. Kadosovic in behind the defence. He's got support in the middle. Kadosovic across goal. Somehow it stays out. As Waterford get the ball clear, but it looked as if Sligo Rovers were certain to score there. Kadosovic got in behind. It was Brian Cash coming in, and Patrick Flynn lying on the ground somehow saves his side. Kadosovic whips it in, and Waterford get that clear. Well, Alan Kelly blows for a free kick against Vinnie Sullivan. Foul there on Rafael Cretaro. Kadosovic standing over it. What can he do from here? Can be deadly in these situations. Assesses the situation, steps up, whips it in, just off target. Well, Dean Delaney would have been struggling to get there. Sligo come on the attack once more. The short corner worked between Kadosovic and Cretaro. Cretaro now in the box. Can he weave some magic? Well, there's enough defenders there to crowd him out, but Kadosovic wins it back. Waterford struggling to get this ball clear. Looks like they have now. Oh, that's a dangerous foul. It was Kenny Brown, I think, sliding in. No option there but for the referee to give the free kick. And it's in another dangerous position. We saw what Kadosovic could do just minutes ago from a situation similar to this one. Stands over it, drives it in, and Dean Delaney makes a fine save to keep the tie at 1-1. And a huge sigh of relief from Waterford United manager Gareth Cronin. Nervous times here for the home side. The final whistle can only be moments away. Waterford struggle to get this clear, and they have done, and there goes the full-time whistle. Alan Kelly brings proceedings to a close at the RSC. A replay will be needed to decide who will progress to the quarter-final draw. It's finished. Waterford United 1, Sligo Rovers 1.
A bit disappointed with the result. I thought the performance was excellent, but most of all, it was a really, really rip-roaring cup match. You know, it was tackles flying in everywhere. Quality of football mightn't have been the best at times, but it was a real cup match, and I enjoyed it. And I hope the people at home enjoyed it, and the people in the stand enjoyed it. There's no reason why you can't win in Sligo on Tuesday night. The year I won the cup with Cork, I think we had to go to 2-3 away game replays, and we have to go and win them, you know.
Galway United have tested the patience of their fans since stepping up to the Premier Division. But finally on Friday night, Galway recorded a home win at Terryland Park. After a scoreless first half, it was former Sligo defender Wes Charles who opened the scoring. 20 minutes from time, Galway had a second goal. Derek Glynn found substitute Dave Cook. His strike from just outside the box curled past Richard Brush. After missing out on a place in the last 8 of the FAI Ford Cup last Tuesday to Waterford, it's been a week to forget for Sligo. 2-0 to Galway is how it finished.
Well, Derry City have been the draw specialists in recent weeks, and their cause at Sligo Rovers wasn't helped by an early injury to Sammy Morrow. Pat McCourt showed some great old-fashioned wing play as he tried to find a way through the Sligo defence. But it was Sligo who held the upper hand in the first half. Only the hand of Pat Jennings keeping the scores level from this Keith Foy free kick. The game was niggly. Adam Hughes and Peter Hutton had a set 2 in the box. Plenty of pushing and shoving resulted in a yellow card each for the 2 captains. There was another booking moments later. Eddie McCallion tripped Rafael Cretero. Cue some more handbags. Derry City came into it more after the interval, but they couldn't find a way past Richard Brush. And the Sligo keeper was again called into action to keep out Kevin McHugh. Rovers almost snatched all 3 points late on, but Foy's free kick hit the post. It finished Sligo Rovers 0, Derry City 0.
I thought first half we were terrific. I thought we were comfortably the better side. Second half, again, I thought Derry were the better side. So you'd have to say all in all, I think a 0-0 was probably a fair result on the night for both teams.
And to keep another clean sheet, I think that's 8 in 13 matches. So, you know, we're showing that we're tough to beat now. We're a harder side to beat, and we have got the talent to win games. Unfortunately, we just didn't have enough tonight to get anything more than we deserved.
The Town had the chance to move off the bottom of the table, and it looked good for them in a tight first half. Mark Rutherford has been getting back to the form he showed earlier in his career. The Sligo defence backed off him, and he played in Dave Mooney, who swept the ball past Richard Brush. Goal number 14 of the season for him. 1-0 Longford on the half hour. They continue to create the better opportunities. Ian Ryan's cross was fumbled by Richard Brush. His defenders bailed him out. Sligo eventually came into the game, and Matthew Judge's cross was only half cleared. Adam Hughes warmed the hands of Shay Kelly. Matthew Gordon thought he'd scored from the follow-up, but it was disallowed for offside. Sligo applied the pressure in the second half. Kelly did well to prevent an own goal from Mark Rutherford. But Rovers were level just after the hour. Gordon kept the ball in play, and Faz Kadosevic held off Ryan and played in Adam Hughes. The skipper made the most of the space he was given to make it 1 apiece. Longford had chances after that, but Gary Deegan's effort was always rising. Longford had penalty shouts with 5 minutes to go. Dave Freeman's cross hit Hughes on the arm, but the referee wasn't interested. The Town have grabbed several late goals this season, but they couldn't find another one, despite the efforts of Desi Baker and Mooney. He was crowded out as he tried to get his shot away. It finished at flank hair, 1 apiece.
Got off to the best possible start of the showgrounds when they hit the front with just 6 minutes played. Good work from Faz Gadosevic and Brian Cash presented Adam Hughes with the opportunity, and the captain hammered home on the half volley for his 2nd goal in 2 games and 5th of the season. Neither side created anything clear-cut in the remainder of the first half, but 10 minutes into the second period, Sligo had the chance to go 2 up. Hughes was again involved, breaking into the visitors' penalty area. The ball broke to Kadosovic, whose shot was saved by Darren Quigley, but from the rebound, Conor Kenna handled and Richie Wenter awarded the penalty. Keith Foy stepped up and he fired past the keeper. An awful injury to Derek Doyle 10 minutes from time compounded UCD's problems. The winger went down in the Sligo box and it was later confirmed he'd broken his leg in 2 places. UCD did pull one back before the end. Substitute Paul Murphy was on target from close range, but 2-1 was how it finished.
I can't speak highly enough about the set of lads we've got at the minute. You know, they've dragged us up the league. I thought tonight they were terrific at times. You know, they really had to dig in tonight because it was a disappointing crowd. You know, we were expecting a big crowd tonight, and I think it was very disappointing that, you know, we had to lift ourselves at times. And that's a disappointment because it was a big game for us this season.
I think overall Sligo were the better team. We got gone a bit better in the second half, but I think you know, we were playing catch up there. Sligo bossed large parts of the game there, and as I said, we got a bit better in the second half, but it was too little, too late.
We were giving ourselves a chance. We're in amongst the big boys, aren't we? You know, when you look at the league table, we're surrounded by clubs that people say are big clubs. You know, I think it's a tribute to our players, you know, that were involved with 7 games to go.
Well, 2 more, hoping his team could overtake his former club into 5th place.
Sean Connor's departure from the showground still rankles with his former club, and the fact that Bohs lined out with 3 Rovers old boys was reason enough for a competitive evening at Dalymount. Cup specialist Bohs were looking to extend that form to the league, but it was 5th place Sligo who started brightly. Brian Cash's cross finding the head of Matthew Judge, the header easy for Brian Murphy. Liam Burns had a chance to hurt his former employers when the Bohs centre-half found himself in at the back post. But it was Rovers with the best chance of the first half, skipper Faradine Kadosovic latching on to Keith Foy's fine through ball and clattering the woodwork with his shot. The visitors looked the more likely at this point, but in-form Bohs striker Darren Manserim almost sniffed out an opener just before the break. Burns was almost in from another free kick early in the second period, but Kadosovic once again could have put Sligo in front. This time it was Rafael Cretaro with the pass, but Murphy was alert with the save. Sean Connor introduced John Paul Kelly on the hour mark. The youngster was to have a brief but important cameo. It was Kelly that Sligo right back Seamus Coleman used as target practice for a savage 2-footed lunge. Coleman was sent off. The stricken Kelly was forced off. The extra man told for Bohs within minutes. Chris Turner primed Stephen O'Donnell, who didn't choose any ordinary strike to mark his first goal of the season. Bohs pushed on from there. Owen Heary drove forward to find Chris Turner. He fed Manserim, and the big striker slotted in his 3rd goal in 2 games. The Gypsies made sure they would leapfrog Sligo into 5th spot with 5 minutes remaining. Mark Rossiter is Sligo born and raised, but he wasn't showing any mercy to his home place with this cracker. 3-0 at finish, capping a good week's work for Bohs. If Sean Connor's side can continue reproducing their cup exploits in the league, a top 4 finish is very much on.
Yeah, we are. We're playing some good football as well, and you know, at times tonight it was hard, but look, you know, they came here, they were very, very well organised, good side, some good players, and they made it difficult for us, and there's no doubt about it. You know, sending off changed the game, but thankfully, you know, we were able to take advantage of the extra man this time rather than have to work with it like we did on Monday night.
I didn't think there was much in the game up to 75 minutes. Spoke to Seamus Coleman, he says he played the ball for the tackle. I don't know, I haven't seen it. You know, but these big decisions in football matches, they change games. You know, we've had a couple of chances before that to possibly go up, and I don't know. I don't want to start ranting and raving, because at the end of the day, come 75 minutes, Bohs deserve to win. You know, you knock on the door to ask to speak to them, they won't speak to you. So I don't know where we're going with football sometimes. It's getting ridiculous where you'll continually get sent off. You're sent to the stands, you want to speak to the 4th official or the linesman, they won't talk to you. You know, and at the end of the day, we're answerable every week.
I've seen Rossiter get sent off here in the League Cup semi-final for us. Not as bad a tackle, so yeah, I think it was a sending off. I need to say it again, but certainly from my point of view, he's gone in with 2 feet.
Well, Pat Bohs, Ireland Premier Division title.
So So Sligo Rovers get the game underway here at United Park. Immediately though, it's Eamon Zaid tries his luck. Well, an early effort from the striker. Richard Brush had to react smartly. Drogheda on the attack once more. Cross whipped in, flick at the near post, and Brush is called into the action once again. It was Ollie Cahill coming in at the back post. Well, Brush is being kept busy here in the early stages. Adam Hughes now. Got some support from Rafael Cotaro. He gets the cross in, the header! Dan Connor makes the save. And I'm not quite sure how the second effort stayed out. It was Kadosevic's header. And then the captain, well, he missed his kick. Cotaro loses out to Simon Webb. This is Guy Bates now. Zaid lining up a shot. And Richard Brush once more comes to the rescue of his side with a fingertip save. Dan Connor launches this one right at the heart of the Sligo defence. Zaid puts on the pressure, he wins it. Breaks here for Ollie Cahill, taken off the line. For once, Brush was beaten. Keegan standing over the free kick. Plays it in for Bates. Good strength from the striker. Plays it to Zaid. Zaid's in here, Zaid. Well, he's missed the target and missed the best chance of the game so far. Keegan fed Bates. Bates, great strength and skill. Zaid couldn't hit the target. Drogheda lose possession. Kadosevic now. What can he produce? Tries his luck. And Dan Connor makes a flying save. Well, that was a fine effort from Sligo's captain for the night. Good save, Connor. In the dying seconds here at United Park, Shane Robinson, well, he won that ball when really he had no right to. Bates, well, Bates is fouled. So a late chance, well into stoppage time. Paul Doolan watches on anxiously. It's Paul Keegan's free kick. And it's Jason Gavin. Well, could that be the moment that Drogheda United put one hand on the Aircom League of Ireland trophy? Keegan's free kick, and Jason Gavin comes up with the goal. Can Sligo respond? Dan Connor gets his hands on the ball. And there goes the full-time whistle. Drogheda United have won all 3 points right at the death. And could that be the night that they'll look back on and say, that was when we won our first Premier Division title?
St Pat's may have faded out of contention for the league title, but there is still a European spot to fight for. Johnny McDonnell's side took a deserved lead in the 10th minute, Mark Quigley with the finish. Sligo's response came from Kadosevic, his free kick easily covered by Barry Ryan. On the 20-minute mark, Pats made it 2, Gary O'Neill racing on to the flick-on and chipping over the back-pedalling Richard Brush. It was one-way traffic, and 7 minutes before half-time, it was 3-0, Anto Murphy heading past Brush. Sligo had a few half chances, but the first half was very much St Pat's. Paul Cook's team talk seemed to work. It was a different Sligo after the break, and they gave themselves a lifeline when Matthew Judge hammered home in the 74th minute. 10 minutes later, they had another, Judge's strike partner Kadosevic with the goal. Sligo couldn't rescue a point late on, Brian Cash blasting over.
Pats were fantastic in the first half. It was men against boys. We were all over the place. We were second to everything. As an 11v11 contest, it wasn't a contest. St Pat's were fantastic. Second half, to be fair, we've had a go. We've come into the game well. We've come out the game with a little bit of credit.
Lost 3 games in a row going into this match at the showgrounds, and were eager to make amends early on. In Faradine Kadosevic, they have a match winner, but on this occasion, the Waterford defence was quick to close them down. Waterford slowly got into the game, and they had their first shot and goal with 8 minutes gone. United came very close to taking the lead when a long throw wasn't cleared by the home defence. It fell to David Mulcahy, who forced Arkaba into an acrobatic save. Gareth Cronin's side took the lead in the 32nd minute, a short free kick to Ray Scully, and he in turn found Vinnie Sullivan. Sullivan could have made it 2 when Sligo once again failed to clear their lines, but he slashed it over the bar. Paul Cook got the desired response from his team after that, Matthew Judge beating the offside trap before being closed down. A bit of Route 1 almost proved fruitful when Kadosevic latched on to Danny Ventre's ball. Dean Delaney forced into action. Delaney was beaten moments later, Kadosevic holding off the challenge of David Breen to get Sligo level 3 minutes before the break. Waterford retook the lead in the 62nd minute when Willie John Kiley flicked the ball into Mulcahy's path, and he finished brilliantly. Sligo's hopes of getting back into the game were dented when they were reduced to 10 men for Ventre's tackle on Kiley. The game fizzled out after that, Waterford hanging on for a 2-1 win.
It's very disappointing, you know. Obviously, first of all, you congratulate Waterford. It's a good win for them tonight. You know, I'm certainly disappointed for, you know, the long Alan Matthews and Longford people, because all of a sudden now our season has collapsed on us, around us. You know, a lot of our lads look tired, look jaded, look like they can't wait for the season to end. And it's hard, you know. I'm certainly not going to turn on them at this stage of the year. They've been terrific for me all season. You know, we only carry a squad of 18 players, you know, and it looks like we're going to the well once too often now.
That's a massive 3 points. After last night's results didn't particularly go so well for us with Longford winning. So, you know, put a bit of pressure on tonight, but the lads responded and reacted very, very well. And I think we were just about worth it. Sligo always gives a great game. It's always a festival of football when we play them up here, but it was great tonight to win and to move very, very close to Galway and Bray.
Well, news of a highly significant result.
Shamrock Rovers have been tumbling down the table over the last few weeks, and they were in danger of hitting Sligo along the way if they didn't stop a 4-game losing run. Sligo keeper Richard Brush seemed keen to help them in that regard. Danny O'Connor and Ger Rowe proving the old saying about too many cooks. Rafael Cretaro's cross found Matthew Gordon at the back post for Sligo, but the winger couldn't capitalise. Ger O'Brien served up a cross on a plate early in the second period, but no Hoops player could connect. Kadosevic and Cretaro combined after 55 minutes for Sligo, but Barry Murphy got enough on the cross to get it safe. But Rovers should have snatched the win in the 65th minute. Daft as a brush is an old football term of endearment. Sligo keeper Richard was doing his best to prove that one. Gavin Pear's block from David Cassidy saved the day. A point guarantees Rovers 5th. Sligo look good for a top-half finish.
After Bohemians were held to a scoreless draw on Friday at home to Longford, Cork knew a win away to Sligo Rovers would see them go level on points with Sean Connor's side. Sligo had managed just a solitary win in their previous 10 games ahead of the meeting with Cork. Matthew Judge had an early chance. He looped the ball over Michael Devine, but also just over the bar. Cork's best moments in the first half came from Gareth Farrelly, narrowly wide here from outside the box. The game's only goal came with a little over 20 minutes remaining. Leon McSweeney sent in the corner, and Sean Kelly was on hand to register his first goal for the club. Sligo did have chances to force a late equaliser, but Cork held on for the win. They are now level on points with Bohemians. The sides meet at Turner's Cross on Friday.
We knew we had to get 3 points because we have to leapfrog Bows. But yeah, you could say the second half they put a lot of pressure on us after we got the goal. But it was satisfying to get the goal, and immensely satisfying to get the win, really.
So here's a check on how the top of the Premier Division looks tonight with one more game to play. Pats win over UCD is